Will it be? Nope, it's going to switch to the Nidalee. So we got Volibear actually heading up towards the top side into the Ornn.
Well, Ornn is going to come in, and this makes DRX's team composition extremely hard to engage. And this is what I was mentioning prior to the match starting, that DRX, they draft these types of team compositions, and Gen.G, they retain the ability to pivot Volibear top lane, and Volibear does beat Ornn inside of the laning phase. And because of Lillia and Ornn being double magic damage duo, Volibear has a lot easier time itemizing for early and mid game and then transitioning into his armor against Lucian and Ashe. And I feel like he's very well poised to be a pretty good body blocker here, which is all that they really need him to do. And Clid has really, really good lane setups for him on the Nidalee, whereas Pyosik is going to have a very hard time.
Yeah, I think it is going to come down to a little bit of jungle. You know, we'll see if any Diffie in the Jiffy comes out here today, because I love the swap that comes out with the Nidalee going straight into the Lillia, which was a response to the potential Volibear jungle. And you guys can see the entire lineup here. So, LS, you were saying if the draft goes even in the first couple of games, you would be favoring Gen.G. So I'm curious to see how it is all going to play out, and if DRX can actually put up a fight against this Gen.G that are on a roll like a freight train right now. As we're just about ready to jump into game number 1, guys. So here we go, DRX up against Gen.G. The winner of this will move on to the World Championship, which was highlighted a little bit early on when we saw the point values from the playoffs. And here we go.
And that will mean the loser of this match, right, will go on to contend with T1, correct? In the gauntlet?
Well, it also depends on if...
oh, yeah, the other, yeah.
If Dom1 win in the finals as well. Because I think there is a chance that if Dom1 do go down, then they're going to have to fight through the gauntlet. I think for them it's pretty cut and dry. And also, I think they were fans of T1. I'm not sure. I saw a lot of the graphs earlier on today, and I don't, you know...
The graphs are very complex.
Yeah, they are. I don't have them like imprinted on my mind just yet, but I'm sure we'll get that information as the games do progress here.
Well, so for these two team compositions, DRX, they do have a little bit of insurance policy with the Ornn in the later stages of the game. He has a little bit less scaling because he's taking Grasp here into Volibear rather than just going Spellbook. We see a lot of Ornn players in eastern regions still do this. Not elect for the Spellbook, but a lot of the champions on the side of DRX, they start to taper off after 2.5 items. And Senna cannot really go ignored the longer that this game ends up going with team comps being the way that they are. We got a big trade happening down here.
Yeah, just a little bit of back and forth. Of course, the Frost Arrows from Deft and the volley that he's able to put out is immense amount of poke alongside of Thresh, who is ranged compared to the Nautilus, who's going to have a little bit of a harder time there. Already mid lane looking pretty good for Chovy, even though it is just level 1, level 2 at the moment. Pyosik, as I mentioned in the draft, on a huge roll right now with the Lillia. He has 4 wins, 0 losses. In fact, the only person who does have a loss on Lillia is Spirit from the best of 5 that we did play on Friday.
Yep. We'll see what he can do here this game on Lillia. He went immediately into Clid's blue side jungle, as Clid was just full clearing his red side camps. So we'll see what ends up happening here. Clid does transition now. He's gonna get the bad news. Not a whole lot that's able to be happening here. Now, Deft and Keria, they have the ability to go for a cheater recall here. They did crash the wave. It was a little bit slower than they would have probably liked. And no, now they're just going to end up getting locked inside of the lane. And you can see that Pyosik actually comes out with a slight edge here against Clid with the openings. So we'll see how the rest of this game is transitioned out.
There have been a lot of question mark pings around this blue side jungle. You can see that Pyosik, he's not going to check his blue. He's like, okay, I got a little bit of a lead. let's take it slow here. I see my wolves are still up. Let's go for that. Don't want to face check into Clid right now, because if he ate a spear, that could mean some bad news for him, as Clid will be spotted. And of course, okay, nice little hook down here. Looks like Deft is not really concerned about even hitting the Nautilus. He's like, I want to push this lane. I don't know what you're doing, Keria. Just let me CS in peace.
And it seems like the bot lane, I mean, they're both just sort of going blow for blow. Neither bot laner does have teleport, though, so you do have to keep that in mind. Now, Chovy has cleanse here against TF. It looks like he's trying to trade, but it's totally fine because the wave is coming into him, so it's a bit peculiar why Clid was looking for any sort of a gank there. Oh.
Life is in a rough spot. That was a big mistake, not expecting Pyosik around, and the bowling ball even missed. I mean, it wasn't, you know, too much that came in, but he just got hit by the full combo of Keria plus Ignite, and I mean, with the ticking damage of the Lillia and the Ignite, I'm not sure why he went for the flash either. Just a little bit of a jumpy Nautilus play, I'll say, to start off this game.
Yeah, and that is a pretty good first blood for DRX happening so early on, and also Lillia being the one that gets it, because her jungle clear speeds up so quickly once she gets that Runic Echo. So any kills going her way, pretty ideal. Just one assist shared too, so Thresh getting a pretty good value out of it. Tier now already completed for the Senna. And Gen.G are actually just, they're falling behind pretty much everywhere as it currently stands. So DRX really off to a very good start right here. Deft has a very good hold in front of his tier 1 turret.
나 그래 맞을게.
I'm gonna go for the grab. They're like, oh,
잡은 거
crap.
같은데?
나이스.
프리징 할게.
아랫바 이게. 좁혀
And they
여기
did.
있고.
And just talking about what they want to do with the lane after that. They seemed a little bit surprised, you know,
Yeah.
the way the tone of their voices. They're like, oh, I think we got him. And just like that, it was a little bit simpler than they expected to take down that kill.
Well, the LCK total score, Senna versus Ashe, 2-10. Is pretty scary. But stats are not always indicative. They lead you to the questions. They don't answer them for you. What else was going on in those games? Who are the surrounding champions?
Yeah.
Those are always things that you do have to ask. Now, currently in this game, DRX are in a very, very nice position. They're up 900 gold. They should be able to get the first mountain because Lucian has such control over mid lane right now. And Rascal and Boris, I think they're having a little bit of a conversation as they see a sheen on Volibear.
Yeah. Boris is just such a likable guy. He's very charismatic. It's hard to resist his charm. What can I say?
He is 1v9.
There's a reason why so many people get fooled as life. Ooh, nice little sidestep there. Lillia is in the vicinity, but we do have TF coming down. The flash comes in, but Deft is in a ton of trouble. They're going to give that kill over to Ruler as it just looks like Pyosik was getting to work on the Dragon, so kind of awkward for him, not able to be there to defend on the play, and also they see where he is, so Clid comes in, and they're going to scoop up and say, thanks for the leash, bro, and we'll take that Mountain Drake to start things off, so Gen.G do get a little bit of a punch back.
Yeah, and that's a big victory for them against this DRX squad, because Lucian and Ashe are going to be the primary carries in the later stages of the game. That's a really nice cancel by Keria. Doesn't let life recall. But every little bit of armor is super valuable. Volibear will definitely utilize that a lot later. Zanya's Hourglass on Nidalee will probably come in at some point. Same on Twisted Fate. And every little bit of amp really helps out against marksman heavy champion or team comps. Cloud Dragon coming up second also does indicate that we have a pretty spicy dragon on the way. Ocean and Infernal, both good.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice bit of poke coming out from Chovy. He's been doing a great job. I mean, this is something that Chovy is known for. He tries to dominate the lane as hard as possible, and in this kind of a matchup, he should be expected to, and has been doing a good job of that. About 22 CS ahead right now. The lane's crashing in and even at this moment. And DRX, they do have a nice amount of priority in a lot of the lanes, so they're just going to give this opportunity over to Pyosik. Even though he missed the dragon, he will be able to pick up this Rift Herald. And there was a ward in that pit, so they knew this was going on, and Gen.G just say, well, we're going to have to give that one over. As here's another look at the replay down on the bottom side.
Yeah, so we just see what's happening. Deft getting hit by the dredge line. BDD comes in, gold card, and says, see you later. Kill also going over to Ruler is very nice, and then everyone rotates over and gets the Mountain Drake. So, a bit unfortunate timing for DRX. But like you mentioned, Pyosik, in the meantime, he did get a solo Rift Herald capture, and those are always the best. When you have to pull over teammates to help out, they end up missing lane CS, lane gold and EXP. Feels pretty bad. BDD, not totally sure what he's doing right now. He is going to see Chovy and what Chovy's doing. He's down 23 CS right now, though, in the mid lane. Twisted Fate passive will help out a bit. Chovy does have cleanse, so I can't really see this working. I'm not sure why Clid keeps going for this, but he doesn't have any jungle camps up, so there's not a whole lot to do.
Yeah, he's kind of just sticking around, you know, just making sure that BDD isn't going to get ganked or anything like that. He's being a little bit of a human ward. Oof. That's a nice little spear straight to the face, as Rascal being quite annoying up here in the top side. He's going for it. Here we go. The Ornn horn a little bit late as the flash comes in, and oh man, he was still able to land that one as the flash will be forced by Rascal afterward. He was behind his turret, but he caught the little edge of the goat coming on in and called that Forge God very well indeed. So is able to at least force the flash once again out of Rascal.
Yeah, and so Doran and Rascal are trading really hard against one another. And you can see that Rascal, he ends up recalling. He doesn't quite have Trinity Force yet. He has the dagger as he's trying to power right into the item. And that's going to mean that now both top laners being flashless. Doran has very easy gank set up for Pyosik in the event so that his ultimate's up. Rascal's not really going to be able to do anything against that. But then likewise, Destiny Gate from BDD gets very scary. That is also a turret plate that falls without giving over gold. So you got to keep that in mind, which is pretty nice. And also, I really like Chovy's itemization here. He's not sinning out of his mind losing to Boris with Blade of the Ruin King. On Lucian, he's going for more of the scaling build. It's not the Muramana that we've seen out of Nemesis in LEC, Fnatic's mid laner, but it is still a lot more scaling and control that this Lucian's going to be able to offer.
Yeah, it's pretty nice to see, as that was a very casual sidestep from BDD. Not sure if he knew what lie on the other side of that brush, because had that landed, he does not have cleanse, and he might have been in a world of pain. So with those Swifty boots, able to just sidestep. I was thinking maybe he would go Merc Treads, but you know, with all of the auto-attacking from the Lucian and the Ashe, I suppose he wants to go somewhere down the middle with a little bit of a more aggressive / defensive approach. So he's able to avoid ganks, he's able to set them up with this choice.
Yep.
And up here on the top side, you can see once again, still looks like they're very much positioning very aggressively. As the Nautilus on vision, Deft will not be fooled by this one.
And this is going to be Gen.G just taking the Cloud Dragon for themselves. Now, it's not a super big ultimate by any means. Most of Gen.G's ultimate, or actually all of them, are pretty situational. So it's not like the CDR that you're getting on the ult is ever really going to change the second cast that you would end up using it. So Ocean is going to be the soul of the game, and that is pretty spicy because both of these team comps are very brawlery, but I feel like Gen.G are making out pretty well with this. That is a Nightmare Dragon for DRX to try to beat.
Misses the knock-up here, and he's able to hop on over, and now the turnaround. We got Lilting Lullaby coming in. Where is the TF? Why is it taking him so long to come up here? And now under the turret just says, okay, I'm going to take you down. I'm not sure what happened in the mid side because BDD elected or was forced not to arrive up to the top side.
One of the other things that I really want to point out, so hopefully we'll get a replay of what was happening at BDD. My eyes actually didn't go to the minimap, so I can't really tell if something was going on with Chovy, but Chovy doesn't have a CC on Lucian, so I'm not entirely sure why BDD didn't follow through on Destiny Gate. Hopefully we get a replay, but again, BDD, one thing I want to point out is that this Rod of Ages at 14 minutes, it's very, very late. All right, so let's take a look at the mini-map here. We see what's going out. Rascal obviously leaps, doesn't get hit by the second activation. Destiny Gate is out, but it's a bluff. Twisted Fate's not in range to use the Destiny Gate yet, so I'm not sure why he activated it. That was very surprising. And given that Chovy had just seen him in mid lane, the bluff is never going to work.
Yeah, it's a pretty obvious bluff at that, and we do have to give him the benefit of the doubt by calling it a bluff, right? I mean, he was being forced under turret as, ooh, that was close. The root will land from the Senna, but yeah, I mean, he was being pushed under turret, and there was a little bit of a wave there as well. So BDD wasn't really in, you know, roaming position to be able to get up there, and Chovy just moved up towards the top side on BDD's side of the lane. So being zoned out a little bit there, and nice call by DRX to continue on, even though their 2 health bars were pretty low up in the top side. And DRX just continuing to get some nice little trades here as Doran is going to take down this entire turret, the first one of the game, on top of many plates up there, 2 or 3, I'd imagine.
And this Ornn is going to be very big. He should be able to have his ornaments online for the 4th dragon. Given that Gen.G is getting these dragons really early, we're probably going to have a soul point game. And I think that's going to be very scary because DRX is going to be walking razor's edge pretty much against that Ocean Soul, and things can definitely get very scary there. BDD trying to shove in the wave. Clid here trying to absorb a little bit of XP, and honestly, Clid is not having a super ideal game. From the jungle opening, he did manage to get the first Mountain Dragon, but he's so far behind in EXP. He's level 9, and Pyosik is into level 11. Oh, man.
Oh, boy. Here we go. He does have the stopwatch, and actually the turnaround coming in. We got TP as well. Life using his own stopwatch, but Clid immediately is going to get burst down. A massive knockup now from Doran is going to help out as we trade kills, but now it's all DRX looking for extra as they run down the lane. A double kill going to Chovy's Lucian, and Deft, he wasn't even there. He's getting all the XP, the gold down on the bottom side. They didn't even need him, and so the 4v5 in the mid lane is going to go the way of DRX.
Yeah, and that is a very big victory for them right now. It offsets a lot of the control that Gen.G are having. Clid gets set even further behind. And let's just take a look at how this all transpired. So, really nice Lillia ball to start things off. The sleep demands the Zanyas. Now, he does activate it a little bit sooner than I think he would have liked, so he didn't bait Pyosik as far in as he could have. Destiny Gate and Chovy with the cleanse. Rascal does manage to trade 1-for-1 against Pyosik, and Life barely manages to get out of there, but during all of that, Deft was just down in the bottom side, and everything was going fine for them. So 4,500 gold lead here at 17.5 minutes. The issue, though, is that at this dragon fight, if it is going to take place, the item gap between all the champions is actually not that big. Lucian's very, very close to Infinity Edge, and so the Rod of Ages and the Sheen on Twisted Fate is still somewhat valuable. The base levels, though, inside of the jungle is definitely something that they're going to feel. Ruler also has a level lead over Deft, so this is a super important point inside of this game. If Gen.G can get this dragon, they're still in the game.
Well, I think they're hard-pressed to get it. You know, it's not going to be easy as the hook will come in, but the double hook coming out from Keria, the knockup, but it's not enough. Life and Rascal getting too low. Lilting Lullaby now onto Clid. He gets crit down from half health to almost none, and DRX are just going to bully their way in. Doran looking for the snipe. Of course, the Warlock that is Ornn is able to summon the Demon to nearly come out and snipe him from downrange. And DRX now, they also had Shirley pushing bottom lane as this is all going. So DRX using this momentum and looking for more on this map.
Yeah, and right now they're in just such control of the game. They're up almost 6,000 gold, 18.5 minutes. They bought themselves so much time. This guarantees that Ornn is going to be able to bestow ornaments by the next dragon fight, which is going to basically suffocate Gen.G that much more, their chances inside of this game. So we see them posturing, they're all pumped up. Nidalee can't really do anything here. She's just so giga far behind. Like, casts his ultimate, but he's really lucky he doesn't lose his life for it in the end. Ornn almost has his ult available. You can see that he's chasing. He finally summons it, but doesn't go for any sort of a Mad Life play or anything, and so Life able to barely skirt away from death. In that moment, Doran might flash away here, actually.
Yeah, it's a little bit awkward. He is quite tanky, though. We do have tons of wards on top of that lantern. He cannot click that thing. And
taking a bit, you know? I mean,
is no bully, I suppose, but nice little catch out there by Gen.G. It's just one little thing. They're going to need many more of those, as there's no objective for them to force or no lane, really, where they have any push potential to do anything or anything like that. So here we go. And he cleansed. That was insane. I didn't even see the stun hit him. It's like he just kept walking. So at least Ruler, you know, the Ruler effect has been real here on the side of Gen.G. And he's 1-0-2. So if there is one player that you can try to, you know, if you're a Gen.G fan, you're looking for something in this game, maybe look down towards Ruler and see what he can do in these later stage fights.
And Ruler in this game, he's positioned to basically be the carrying force in the later stages. I really like how he's itemized as well. Goes for the Yumu's Ghost Blade here, not getting trapped by the Black Cleaver. Doesn't really have any amp to give any of his teammates. He doesn't really need the item. HP pretty irrelevant as well. And you can see right here all the wards going down onto that lantern. And they just jump on top of it like it's a football. And Gen.G, they get something for themselves, but they're still down 4,500 gold. And Ornn is about to ding 14. Things are definitely going to get really scary here. 2 minutes until the ocean.
Yeah, it's really rough. And this is what Ornn does offer you once we do get to this stage of the game. And you also mentioned how Lillia is pretty fed. We're going to have some pretty reliable engage that comes out of DRX and fantastic follow-up that comes out of Lillia, Ashe, and Lucian that are just going to jump on whatever target they are able to land any amount of CC onto. So from this lead, DRX definitely in a comfortable spot. We'll see what does go on as everybody's kind of grouping up towards the Baron, but we're only 21 minutes into this game, so it's still relatively early to try to burst down that objective. I suppose for now we'll just go ahead and farm it out.
Yeah, and right now, if you're a DRX fan, you're fine with this happening. And if you're Gen.G, you're sort of just getting nervous as this continues on right now. Rod of Ages, it's going to take a while for Clid to finish his stack, and he's only at 3 right now. Really close call right there.
That was Mikhail's, by the way.
Yeah.
Just wanted to point that out. Deft will be saved by Keria in that instance.
And you can see BDD trying to do something up here in top lane, waiting for the wave. This is where freezing could happen, but we're not gonna get that. He's got a hot date. And
He's got places to be.
He does. He's got to be a dragon in 40 seconds, so...
Boris is calling his name, you know? He just can't wait to get back to the fountain. Buy some more items. That's the way it goes. I'm curious to see what he will buy. I don't think he's got much gold, so he just goes back.
Fiendish Codex, yep.
He's just trying to get as much power, I suppose, for this next fight, but not going all out with an elixir or anything like that. He's still going to be looking to build into the next item. And so perhaps Gen.G are not going to be looking to go all in on this next fight by any means.
And it's interesting that you bring up the elixir. I think that some people would wonder why an elixir suggestion would come up. I think that if this was sole point, then yes, Amp Tome and elixir, if you have the gold for it, to get the most power to just try to guarantee the capture of that game-ending objective would be pretty insane.
Oh boy, we found a couple of squishies down here. Look at Gen.G looking to pounce BDD in a really awkward spot though. He cleanses and he's getting burst down and they can't do any damage to Doran. where is the damage coming from Gen.G? It's just kind of not there. And Doran incredibly tanky at this moment in time. TF can't really say the same for him as BD went on a little bit of a walk. And so that will be the free Drake going over to the side of DRX, but it's a 1+1 because they also picked up the TF.
Yeah, and I don't know what Gen.G is going to really be able to do inside of this game. DRX should be able to comfortably get Baron in just a little bit. Lucian is out of control right now. He already has the Molten Edge given by Ornn. It's going to be Zhonya's Paradox most likely for Pyosik as his second item once Ornn ends up getting his hands onto that for the masterwork. And let's just take a look at this. This Destiny Gate just goes in so deep. And there was no way for Gen.G to really follow up on it whatsoever. And you can see BDD was stuck between a rock and a hard place. Chovy able to just follow up and tap BDD into oblivion. And from there, I mean, it's a full-on retreat. And when Gen.G's comp is behind like this, it's really, really hard for them to play because the Senna and Twisted Fate just don't have the kind of firing power that they would ideally want at this stage of the game. Everything's not really going Gen.G's way here. 5,000 gold deficit, 25 minutes almost.
Yeah, they have a decent amount of burst and pick, but when it's always Doran in the front line with his, his super tanky Ornn self, they're really not able to do too much. And BD absolutely was a bit out of control, off the leash, I suppose, there, down in the bottom side. They're looking to pick here onto Chovy. They would love to get the shutdown. As here we go, cleanse will be used, but the knockup comes in, plus the stun. He's gonna flash away. Not sure about that decision. Ruler with another Captain Jack just says, I'm here to play today, and that's really why Ruler is so valuable.
Yeah.
This team always just super consistent, especially when the pressure is on. But nice little pick there from Gen.G. Still waiting to see a team fight where they look strong, though, because all of their wins in this game have been, a little kill on the side over here, a little bit of, a Cloud Drake over here. Not really much else.
And it feels like if you're wondering what they can do at this point, well, it's not the Build-A-Bear that is BDD. He has the Fiendish Codex, has the Zeal. Yeah. Yeah, well, it's Ornn.
Once again, is incredibly tanky, but there is going to be a Lantern that comes out. And so DRX, I suppose, smartly saying, well, we don't have Chovy. He has a lot of our damage and gold right now, so let's just back out of that one.
Very worrying game here. Oh, I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah,
he's going to flash.
An awkward spot, and now Life might be the one that sacrifices for it. Deft immediately going to be there and eat him up, essentially. Takes that kill down. And, okay, looking for the engage here is Keria, actually. Over the wall comes Chovy. Really nice setup from Keria. And no follow-up. Okay, the stun comes.
Oh!
Looking for the
wildcard miss.
But they can't quite get him. Where is the damage on a Chovy? They can't do it. And now the 280 carries going head-to-head. Deft is going to win that one just barely. And so what was just the one support kill is now 4 dead for the side of Gen.G, and DRX will absolutely take down this Baron unless Clid is able to pull off a miracle.
Well, I don't think Clid's going to be able to do it. You can say Keria acting as the gatekeeper in the event that Clid would ever try to make his way over towards the Baron Nashor pit. But take a look at this replay from a while ago. Teleport comes in. You can see the cleanse onto Chovy. Ultimate comes out. They end up getting on top of him. And they do bring him down. They gave over the kill to BDD. And then in the follow-up fight, yeah, this is where I'm not sure where BDD was going, or Rascal. I have no clue what he's thinking about or why he's doing that, because you see where all of his teammates are. You know that DRX is in very close proximity. BDD even down in bot lane. And let's take a look at this team fight. Watch the wild cards as well. So Rascal getting caught up. He gets brought down very quickly. There's the gold card, and then the wild cards whip. If they landed, Chovy would have gone down. Absolutely. And that maybe changes some of the ability to just do the Baron as simply as they would have. Deft still would have killed Keria. That would not have changed whatsoever if Twisted Fate was alive, but definitely could have been a bit of a different song and dance. A lot of the predictions are instantly wrong, most likely now, Veldas.
That is true, but again, DRX were not looking solid coming into this one, so obviously there was a reason to be a little bit skeptical of DRX, but they have showed up to play. And we knew that this team, they are very skilled, they have the ability. It's just a question of can they do it on the day, as here we go, the hook comes in, they immediately take out BDD, and not much of a follow-up. Nice snipe there from Ruler. He's looking for Deft, gets the 2, but Chovy is just so strong right now. Takes the turret shot. In goes Rascal, though. They're going to take down Chovy. They might be able to stop the offense coming in from DRX as Pyosik goes on as he will go down. That's the Quadra. And Ruler says, I'm not going to go down without a fight. I don't care how my team is going to do. They're looking for this pentakill. Should eventually be able to get it. Finally comes in. Ruler will pick up the pentakill in game number 1. Somehow, some way, against so much of the green of the way this game has been going.
They're going to get the Ocean Dragon. They're going to bring this game to Soul Point. And Ruler, now with 5 kills under his belt, he probably just got another core item. This Senna is going to go all the way to almost full item build immediately off this team fight. And DRX, with the DRX special, they charge into the base, and Senna just doing so much value right there. Clid is golden. He buys up so much time for Rascal to come over the wall. Chovy not able to do anything there. And Pyosik, who's not long for this world, Doran, just not able to quite make it out. You can see he was thinking about if he could land the E onto Ruler, he could maybe go for the Searing Charge and try to trade a kill away. As we come back into live, I would imagine Gen.G got the Ocean Dragon, and they're actually in a pretty okay position. If they get to Ocean Soul, things get dicey. Mortal Reminder needs to come in on Lucian as the next item. Bramble Vest is already there on Ornn. Not really sure about the Ronduins on Doran, but would have been really nice to have a Solari or something at this point in the game to really just asphyxiate Gen.G's chances in a straight-up team fight, given that a lot of that fight is very brawlery. It's very burst-centric. You see the Zanya's Paradox, Molten Edge going to be given over to Deft soon. And Keria actually didn't go for an ornament, which is very surprising. He went for the Shirelias instead.
Yeah, Shirelias has been an interesting question we've been dealing with. A lot of supports, especially in the LCK, have been really favoring this item alongside of Mikhail's. Those have been the 2 items that have come back in a big way. And I suppose he's just saying, well, I just want to get those, you know, a little bit of a, 5% extra effectiveness on my engage, or I suppose disengage in some rare spots. But I mean, you're absolutely right. This game is now in a really interesting spot where it really could go either way, as I'm being attacked by a rogue Yumi in my house. But we are definitely in an interesting game state now. I mean, this could be either team's game from here on out, which is not the case even just, 2-3 minutes ago. Clid is still a little bit useless in this game, and he's mostly just a heal bot for Ruler.
Yeah.
And BDD hasn't really been looking very effective. A little bit of a soft game 1 for him. So, once again, I've been highlighting Ruler so much coming into these playoffs, and this guy is just insane. And he's looking to do it again potentially here, although here comes the engage. Will be nice onto the 2 of them, but there's really no follow-up.
Yeah, and DRX, I'm not sure why they're doing what they're doing. They're just all grouping up in mid lane. And this is some of the weaknesses that DRX have shown throughout the split, is their inability to do late game types of macro. They really rely on just pulverizing through their opponents. And it's been one of the main criticisms of the team throughout all of 2020. So at this point in the game, we're reaching 34-35 minute mark. The gold lead at the top starts to become less relevant. It is about those ornaments, and it's the fact that Gen.G's team composition, a lot of their champions are starting to slow down. Clid, not going to be at Zanya's anytime soon. Rascal's a bit of Build-A-Bear workshop right now, and no item completion for him really dramatically changes Volibear's influence in the game. But Mortal Reminder on Deft, Mortal Reminder on Chovy, these are really big item completions that he could end up getting. Let's see if DRX is going to be able to capture the Baron here, because this will go immediately into Ocean Soul.
Well, they're looking to lock down Doran. The follow-up on the damage a little bit slow as a nice hook comes in, and the flash is late from Clid. He immediately goes down, and now it's 4v5, and Gen.G, they're still here. They're still looking for the fight as Ruler pretty far away looking for that ultimate. In goes Chovy. He's looking for the assassination, and he's gonna get it. And without that damage to come in from Ruler, I'm not sure if they've got a chance, but now Gen.G, they're just splitting up. They're trying to run away as fast as possible as DRX are trying to get in there. You see Keria now gonna flash in, looking to stop the back of Rascal. Not having that Volibear is going to be incredibly important, but here comes BDD.
Oh!
As the teleports come in, as the damage not quite there onto Pyosik. Life, he's tanky, but he doesn't do much else as Chovy gets extremely low, but he's still going in the TP, trying to go down from the side of Rascal. He's gonna get here, but he's so low. In goes Doran, who gets the assassination on the TF, and I think they might have just done it. DRX, they had one big hiccup in this game, but they just gotta focus down this Nexus, and they will take game number 1 away from Gen.G.
And